Hello everyone, this is part 22 of What If Naruto Was Raised by His Father, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist. To see more, comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe, it gives me more motivation. Enjoy. Cold water, plus a minus 12-degree day does not make a certain want to be Hokage a very happy person. Naruto stood there under the cold rushing waters of the great waterfall of Mizu country. His entire body had been frozen still. He was very sure, even positive, that the man that was supposed to be helping him with training had forgotten about him. It had been 3 days since he had started standing there, only wearing the first Hokage's lace and a pair of shorts. He was sure they would soon freeze solid to his skin if not already frozen. "Hey, boy," yelled a tall dreadlock-wearing old man, wearing from what Naruto figured was a dress. Naruto slowly glanced over to the man who was walking out of the trees carrying what seemed to be his bag, and an oddly misshaped purple apple. Quote. Naruto didn't even try to speak. It wasn't because he couldn't. It was because he started to hate the man whom had been helping him. All Naruto could figure was that all he had done was feed him, and put 2 patches upon his stomach and chest cavity. "Boy, did you hear me? Yeah," he yelled once more in the direction of the blonde, while placing down the blonde's bag and biting into the apple. "Do you know how cold this is?" yelled the out-ragged blonde as he shot death glares at the man whom leaned against the tree. "Yeah man, I do. But, unlike you, I usually spend about 3 minutes every day under that waterfall. Just as I told you to do, yeah." Quote. You told me 3 days, and 3 has an H in it. "You old lunatic," yelled the blonde. "Did I? Sorry, yeah, meant to tell you 3 minutes, so that the shock of the water will prepare you to understand the pain you will undertake. When that is, I bring your chakra cells back from the S, yeah. Not to K, yeah instead. Yeah. They weren't S. You old bastard," muttered the blonde as he still stood under the water. "Come out now, and people call me nuts. I thought you ran away or SD somewhere. So 3 days later you decide to come look for me," said Naruto in an even and flat emotionless tone as he glared at the man as he slowly stepped out of the water. "You know, you're the second person I forgot about. But at least I saw your bag yesterday. And knew you were around someplace. So, I decided to spend the whole day at the beach and met some old friends, then went home. I just started to look for you about 5 minutes ago." The blonde looked blankly at the man before him, then reached down and grabbed his bag and slowly started to change into warm and dry clothes, while rubbing his face against them in pure bliss to touch something warm. "You're free to go, yeah. I've done all I can. Just take 4 pills every day, at least until you run out, around the 10th, yeah. And you should be back to your normal self, or at least what you call normal, yeah. Why am I just taking these now?" But before the blonde could finish the last few words, the man before him thrust his 2 palms into the blonde's chest and stomach, releasing his sealing justu he had placed over the fourths. Naruto toppled over as he felt pain rush through his body like a foreign object. Chakra started to spew from very part of the blonde's chakra cells. The red chakra was slowly but surely starting to take over. He was soon crying from the pain that he felt, and was wishing that it would go away. While the man before him just got up and started to walk away. "Just remember, all you have to do in life, man, is S," said he, as he disappeared into the darkness that started to engulf around him. His long tied-up hair swayed slightly as he walked away. He was starting to add more bones and beads to it as each second passed, leaving the blonde alone in darkness while suffering in agonizing pain. Unknown to him, that would be the last time he'd ever speak or see the man again. Sakura gave a soft giggle as she felt her body be instantly pressed against the kitchen wall of the Haruno household. You see, Sasuke had just got home from the 2-month mission and was in dire need of some relaxation. The kind that involved a bed. Sakura gave a witty smile as Sasuke gave her a cold glare for laughing when he was trying to get her to the bedroom, or the couch. At that moment he didn't really care. But alas, the young Uchiha would just have to wait, because at that moment came a very loud cough came from none other than Mrs. Haruno, Sakura's mother, who had been watching Sasuke as he felt up her daughter. Sasuke went instantly still, while Sakura laughed once again in dire amusement, and quickly ducked under his outstretched arms, and walked towards her mother and grabbed one of the 2 bags and bring it into the kitchen. Sasuke looked blankly at the wall, then glared at it before realizing his pink-haired female wasn't there anymore. As he slowly turned around, he met the pale green eyes of Sakura's mother. Sakura, you could do so much better, stated her mother as she circled the Uchiha like a hawk circling its prey. Quote. Yes, wait. Mother, said an outraged pink-haired female as she dropped a can on the counter. Well dear, he is handsome, but what? Questioned Sakura as she stood in front of Sasuke, examining him like her mother, while he glared at them both, uncomfortable under the gaze. He's, well, an ice cube. Yes, an ice cube, stated her mother as she smiled triumphantly. Ice cube, stated Sasuke as he shot a glare towards the woman before him, only to receive one from Sakura. Yes, exactly, you have no emotions. The only thing you do have is your looks, other than that, you have nothing, she stated very matter-of-factly as she hit the dish wrap she had been holding into her palm. He does so have emotions, defended Sakura as she placed her hands on her hips. Hatred, and the love for a sibling's death doesn't count, dear, stated the elder woman as she looked sternly to the young woman beside her, while Sasuke rolled his eyes. Mother, he has more emotions than just for the love of hatred. Such as, he has, thought Sakura aloud as she placed a hand under her chin as she tried to think. Sakura, said Sasuke plainly, as he looked at the 2. A faint blush was starting to creep onto his face. What? Said the 2 females as they looked at him, while a blush appeared more apparent on his features and looked away. Love for Sakura. The 2 females stayed silent as they looked at him. I knew you loved her. Or why else would you stay with her, when you used to think she was so annoying? Smiled the dark pink-gray streaked-haired woman. Body, stated the 2 24-year-olds at once, while the elder woman rolled her eyes, threw her hands into the air and left them alone. So, Kakashi, what have you been thinking about lately? You asked me to come here for a right reason. Right? Questioned Jiraiya as he looked at Kakashi as they stood by the memorial stone, located behind the 3rd training ground. Why? Stated Kakashi as he looked more intently at the stone. Why? I asked you the question. And I receive one in return. You were always an odd one, you and Obito. Quote. Why was it, you told us to call him Arashi? Asked the silver-haired male, as his eyes never left the stone. Quote. What do you mean? Said the elder man, his voice hesitant. His name wasn't Arashi, not from what I can remember, so why did we call him that after his death? I've often wondered when someone would ask me that very question, Kakashi, smiled Jiraiya slightly as he looked towards him. Quote. Kakashi looked up, and towards the elder man. It was to protect the village, and most importantly, Naruto. Naruto, you've noticed, haven't you? It's too much of a coincidence any other way. Kakashi lowered his eyes as he went into a deep thinking process, as he tried to figure out what Naruto had to do with it. Then his head instantly snapped up and looked at Jiraiya. His eyes wide. Many unanswered questions had just been answered in that very moment. He looked paler now than he had before. Eyes never leaving Jiraiya's face. I see, you figured it out. You knew his mother, didn't you, Kakashi? Yes, she was extremely beautiful, from what I can remember. You remember seeing those old photos Minato had given Naruto, I am correct. We had to use genjutsu over them as not to alert everyone. Because knowing the idiot, he'd have shown everyone. But, Sensei never had. Think about it, you're one of the smartest people in our village. He has his exact looks, and his personality to succeed at anything he puts his mind towards, and the ability to believe in himself when the world seems to shut him out. But he also has her inside of him, I'm sure you've noticed. Her unlevel-headedness, to always see the good in people. And her over-exuberant amount of energy. Tell me, Kakashi, continued Jiraiya. When did you first notice the resemblance? Resemblance, but he never had. The man before him smiled. Quote dot dot dot. The first time would have been when I was training Naruto when he had been 15 years old. I noticed far beyond that. Back when I first met him when he caught me doing research. And then after I started to train him, it was like training Minato all over again. Just with more energy and stamina, and less brains. There were times I caught myself almost speaking his name instead of Naruto's. Why was it a secret from us his students? No, the village. It wasn't. You just never bothered to have asked. You were a weird freakish child. A loner I guess. And it wasn't really a major secret, just all the people that would have known are either S or MIA. The older ones like the Hokage and I know. No one from the younger generation. Does Naruto know? Quote dot dot dot. I've wondered that myself. I never bothered to ask if he knew his parents or not. It just never came up. But I don't think he knew his father, he found out who his mother was, or, was what we appeared her to be his mother. Quote dot dot dot. I see. It's too late now anyways. I mean he's gone now, there's no actual answer to that question. Even if there was, we'd never know, I'm not sure it's something he would spread around so fast. I mean, would you? No. But that's me, Naruto is different. I know. But, I don't think it's something one would be able to accept right away. Until I become Hokage I won't. What? You have that dream too? Just to let you know, you have the best advantage for that title than anyone here in the village right now anyways. No, that's what Naruto said once. He'd swore he'd become Hokage before he'd. Yes, well, I guess that didn't come true now did it? Said Jiraiya as he traced his fingers of the name of Uzumaki Naruto on the carved cool stone. If he had SD, I'm sure his ghost would be haunting us right now. He's too afraid of ghosts to become one, chuckled Jiraiya as Kakashi looked towards the names of his various comrades. Then pulled out his latest book of Aiki Paradise. Sasuke, said Sakura in a mild tone, as they walked through his house towards the kitchen. What is it now? Said a frustrated Uchiha. Why haven't you left yet? She asked in a silent voice, almost a whisper. She had stopped walking by this point. Sasuke spun around and looked at her with a mild confused look plastered upon his face. Such as the one when he was stuck in the ground in Kakashi's bell test and Sakura appeared out of the bushes. And he looked at her. Was such a good episode. Quote dot dot dot. That came out wrong, I mean to go after Itachi. This time, I'll be the one laying in wait for him. I'll have the upper hand this time. But, I know you were going to say something else, what is it? Pestered Sakura as she gazed into Sasuke's eyes. The only person that was stronger than me, is no longer in the village. And if I could have just defeated him, then I know I could beat Itachi, stated Sasuke, fire burning deep within his eyes. You're talking about Naruto, aren't you? Asked Sakura, her voice small. He stayed silent as he looked out through the open window in the hallway. Then, why not train with Jiraiya? What would be the point? Because he taught the fourth, and then he taught Naruto. Which would mean he's the strongest, right? To teach two of the Leaf's finest ninja? Well, for Naruto, okay, one of Leaf's greatest ninja. Right, so why not train with him? Questioned Sakura, knowing what she was saying held logic. It doesn't really work that way, Sakura. Each generation shall always surpass the next. It's a never-changing cycle. She tilted her head in confusion. Take Kakashi for example, in a fair battle it's hard to say who'd win in that situation. Kakashi is stronger than Jiraiya, and weaker than the fourth. But, he's truthfully admitted if he was in a fair battle with Naruto, he wouldn't win. So, the fourth would have been the prime person to battle. Asked Sakura as they walked out of the hall and to the outside where rain splattered against the roof above. The fourth and Naruto, they would be considered in a different category altogether. Stated Sasuke looking out into the rain. Why? Because they're too much alike, they have almost all the same exact techniques. And if they were in a fair battle the outcome would be obvious. The fourth would win, right? No. Just the opposite, Naruto would win. But, if he were to fight against Jiraiya, he'd probably lose. The outcome would be unknown. Why? I mean if he's stronger than Kakashi, and Kakashi's stronger than Jiraiya then. Because Jiraiya is old, not that the stupid idiot would go easy. Just the opposite, he'd go harder and use more chakra, Because only the idiot knows all the old man's techniques, which would lead to his downfall because he'd try to avoid them and end up getting his plan backfired. Okay, then what about me? Questioned Sakura, stopping to look at Sasuke. You're kidding, right? Said Sasuke as he gave an amused look to the pink-haired female behind him. No, I am not. I'm stronger than most of the ninja here, so why not fight me? In brute strength, I wouldn't last 5 minutes. In actual ninjutsu and genjutsu combat, you'd lose the fastest, stated Sasuke smugly. Hey, retorted Sakura, offended. I'm only stating the facts. And you're not at the same level as Naruto. If I had any hope in beating Itachi, Naruto would be the one to defeat. But Itachi would beat Naruto. The only other strongest person here. That means Itachi was stronger than Naruto, which means I have to beat Itachi no matter what. I can't have any distractions. But Naruto was at a major disadvantage. He sucks at genjutsu, and the only thing, well, not only thing, but the best thing Itachi is good at is genjutsu. Quote. Sasuke looked at her blankly before reflecting on what she said, realizing he was right. While you might not have as much stamina and chakra as Naruto did, you at least are good at genjutsu. Which is good news for you, right? And let me remind you, Naruto couldn't use chakra that time. But you can, stated Sakura plainly as she reached her hand out to touch the rain. Naruto's nails dug deep into the earth's solid cold ground as he gripped a tree branch with his right hand for support. Pain struck his whole entire body. He tried to repress his red chakra as hard as he possibly could, only to feel his body slowly slipping away into his mind's own darkness. Damn it, that fuck, wait, where the hell am I? Said the panicky blonde as he gazed around the damp and dark hallway. It never seems to change around here. Why is it so creepy? He asked himself aloud as he started down the familiar hallway, which he knew all too well. The fox was laying down, his head on the ground between his two massive front legs. Red chakra seemed to fill the room. It stung the blonde as he entered. He could feel it burning his lungs with each breath he took. The fox hadn't seemed to notice the blonde's presence, yet anyways. So as Naruto got closer, his heart started to race faster than it ever had. Then instantly the massive head arose from its spot, the eyes fixated upon the blonde boy instantly and looked at him with his bittersweet sadistic grin as he sat up behind the locked bars of his cell. So you came back. What is it you want? Chakra Agian? Demanded the fox as he looked at the blonde. No, and I don't know why I'm here. I never wanted to come back again. I told you that before. I don't need you, stated Naruto firmly as he glared at the demon before him. 7 years you blocked me out, now you return. It wasn't my fault, you stupid fox. Wasn't your fault. Who was the one who wanted to defeat Sasuke? Who was the one who completed that wretched jutsu in which that man tried to accomplish? Who was it who always knocked upon my door begging for help, and threatening me that if I don't? Who was it that locked me away for all eternity, inside some stupid little boy? It was wait. Locked you away. What the hell does that have to do with anything you said before? The fourth was. Exactly. It was all the Hokage's fault. If he hadn't created that wind jutsu, you wouldn't be like this pathetic thing before me. If he hadn't the Uchiha might have never had happened. Then your Uchiha friend would only just be your friend, not an enemy. If the fourth hadn't locked me away in your useless body, your life would, no, everyone's lives would have been better off. He had a choice that night, you know. He could have locked myself away inside him and that wretched death god. But then we would be fighting for eternity. But instead he used an easier method. He put myself inside a pathetic human child, a boy who had a family and who was loved, a boy who had everything he would have wanted. He killed your mother to tie you to me. He had a choice. He just used you to make that pathetic village stronger, to use you as their weapon in battle, so that others would know not to defy them. You're wrong. Quote. You insolent little. I know he had a choice, but if he hadn't locked you away in me, then when Gaara attacked those years ago, the village hidden in the leaves would be no more. And if not for me, the sand wouldn't have the best Kazekage they ever had. Tell me, how do you know that for certain? Because Gaara and I were the exact same. Both holder of great and powerful demons. Both were hated and fated among our village. Always told different, we are who we are. That's what makes oneself strong. Not you, or that stupid raccoon. But the hardships we go through every day of our life, that's what makes one truly strong. Don't make me laugh. You're just a scared little boy who's in way over your head. I am no longer scared of you, one time I might have been. And I am not joking around, you bastard. Face it, you missed me, said Naruto in a way so he was taunting then Fox. What? Why the hell would I miss a pathetic human like you? Yes, admit it, you missed me. You were all alone, cut off from me, from what I thought, my emotions. You were scared, because you had no idea when I or even you were in danger. Which means, you didn't know your fate, when you were on the brink of death. You're never getting out. I'll never let you out. This is my body, and your grave. I make the rules, you do not. When I ask for chakra you give it to me, not so much to make me a danger to the village. Because I can't become a liability upon them again. Because, I will be ked if I lose control. Which means you will s. And if you do make me go over the edge, don't think for 1 minute I wouldn't K myself in order to save those close to me. Are you threatening me? No, it's called a fact. If your brain is too small to process that. I scare you and you know it. Because you can't get out. And if you can't get out, just remember this is your grave as it is mine. When I s, either young or old is up to the fate of my life. The fate I choose, and your fate, has already been chosen and that's it, yours is done. I will be the last thing you ever see, remember that. I will have you s with me, I will not have you transported to another like a lot of people who seek power do. You will only reside in myself, and no one else. I should have been locked away in an Uchiha. Would have been better decision. Say whatever the hell you want. I'm leaving, stated the blonde as he started to walk away. That's when he realized he wasn't going anywhere but down an unfamiliar hall, and it seemingly lead right back to the fox's den. They all did. Just as he was going to yell in annoyance, he found himself laying on the cool earth alone, and drenched in sweat. The chakra had finally stopped. And the pain was now just a dull numbness. What the hell happened? I have to get back to the village quickly. Everyone will be so surprised to see me. I wonder if Sasuke is out of jail yet. Unknown to the blonde, the village would be in surprise more than in one way. October 10th. What then? What's the purpose and reason? We strike then because that was the night the Nine Tails attacked. They won't be expecting it so soon, said Pain as he looked out into his makeshift brain. You're positive about this, Toby? Don't question him. I'd be more help, let me accompany you. And leave Toby with Itachi to go to lighting, instead, asked a blue-haired female as she turned towards Pain. Toby is our key element. He is familiar with the village more so than Itachi, even though Itachi may know more recent areas. Toby knows things Itachi does not. Itachi stayed silent as he glanced over to the masked man. We strike in 1 week, from tomorrow, said Pain as he stood up and disappeared, leaving Toby and Itachi alone. You have a brother, Sasuke and Leaf, right? And Uchiha as well? Asked Toby, trying to make conversation, but only getting a silent answer as Itachi left. This will be fun, stated Toby, as he smiled from behind his mask and walked away slowly. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.